What's up, everyone? Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and this is Dog Behavior Q&A, episode 186, Thirsty Thursday. Call it whatever you want. We try to answer the most basic, any question. I don't care what it is. We're going to answer any and all questions that you have in regards to dogs. I'm going to give you this is year 17. So we've been doing this for 17 years. I've been doing this for 17 years. And I've been seeing some dogs, man. I've experienced some dogs. At the local shooting club, they call me Jerry's Dog Emporium. Because they know that I'm the dog guy. So anybody who's watching who wants to, if you have any questions about dog training, or dog behavior, feel free to ask. I am live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So if one of these 2 or 3 aren't working, you can go to the next one. We're here talking about dogs, man. That's it. Nothing else. Dogs. And listen, it can be the most basic question or it can be the most advanced question. I don't care what it is. Ask me. Feel free. All right. It's usually on Thursdays. The show is called Thirsty Thursdays, but we're here today on Wednesday because I got something to do on Thursday. So whoever is out there, I'm hoping you're having a good Wednesday, and cheers to you. Let's get into it. All right. Question for you. I have a male and a female. Neither are fixed. We just had our last litter. All pups are gone except for one male. During the last litter, the sire was extremely helpful and supportive. Play with the pups. Yesterday, I believe the sire was resource guarding me and did some damage to an 8-week-old puppy. I'm shocked to see this turn in his behavior. We are now looking at Wyme Rescue regarding the pup for his continued safety as soon as possible. Currently, we are making sure there is little to no interaction with the sire and baby pup. Moving forward, he lost all privileges and furniture off bed. The only behavior other than the latest development is a tendency to jump on people when greeting them at arrival. Thoughts on the next steps? We've had Wymes over a decade, and we worked with them mentally and then physically running. We've also had 3 acres for them to run outside with an electric fence for safety. All right. 4 or 5 stitches to close the wound by the left eye. $450 vet bill. All right. So you want to know what your next steps should be. Well, I would say your next step would be to give the dog your sire should first and foremost, you got to give the dog a consequence. Cut out jumping completely and his ability to greet people right away. Plus, when the dog is around the pup, any thoughts, any stupid body language of that would lead to aggression should be met with a proper consequence. And when people ask me what kind of consequence, what kind of consequence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about the consequence that works. I've never met your dog. I don't know the situation. So what kind of question is that? What do you mean, what kind of consequence? A consequence that works. You know your dog. You know how sensitive or how stubborn he is. He or she is. No, he, in this case. So give the proper consequence. That's it. See, people know. People know what to do. People know what to do. If we could, if the proper consequence was just saying no, then you wouldn't even be asking me this question. We wouldn't even be having this discussion. Proper consequence depends on the dog, man. That's just like somebody else that asked me what's my definition of punishment. And my definition of punishment is the same. I share the same definition that Webster and Wikipedia. That's the definition of punishment. I don't have a different definition of punishment than the dictionary. Not sure what people expect of me when they ask those types of questions. I can't answer it, really. The one that works. The one that gets the dog to stop doing it. All right. Let's keep moving on. Okay, have a 4-year-old GSD that just adopted from a rescue. He has a very high prey drive around my horses. I want to get him off leash here on the farm with other dogs. Best way to work on this. All right. Have a 4-year-old just adopted from a rescue. Okay, very high prey drive around horses. So you'll need to be able to communicate with him off leash. Best, easiest, most convenient way is the e-collar. And then teaching the dog what no means. So that when the dog gets aroused by your farm animals, you can say no. And if no doesn't work, then you can say no and give the dog a consequence for him to ignore and or learn how to deal with the impulses that the farm brings. First of all, that GSD should thank you, because sounds like he just hit the lottery when it comes to dog owners. So that's awesome. But no, yeah. I mean, listen, man, I'm a very basic dog trainer. I like to stick to the basics. Your dog is intelligent enough to know what no means. You can hold them accountable according to the level of intelligence that they have. That's how hard you should be on your dog. You should be as tough as they can take it. You know that your dog is intelligent, so your expectations should be based on how intelligent they are. If you know your dog can do it, then it ain't up to the dog, it's up to you to actually follow through. So that's my approach. I'm just very basic when it comes to strategy, because I know this, and I've said this before many times. Those people who know how to teach their dog what no means have good dogs. They don't need to teach their dog all these tricks. Come down, stay. If your dog knows and respects your no, then there's a whole lot of things you can do. It opens up your options, because you can have dogs who know what to do, obedience, but still choose not to listen to you. So what's the point of obedience then? There's so much emphasis on we must promote obedience. We must train the dog in obedience. We must go to classes. But that's really not the issue. The issue is does the dog take you serious or not? And that's the hard part. Does the dog take you serious when you say something? Or does the dog pick up on your inconsistencies and 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 can do what it wants because the dog knows that their persistence is going to outlast yours. Those of you who are just tuned in or watching, feel free to ask me anything you want about dogs. Any question you like. No question is a dumb question. I've been doing this a long time, y'all. I mean, I know the work that I've put in. This is why I'm so confident in saying and telling you guys, giving you guys advice. And here's the other thing. I don't run away from questions. Some trainers won't do lives because they're afraid somebody will ask them a question they can't answer. Not me. I want all the questions I can't answer. Because if I can't answer it tonight, I'll tell you I don't know. But I'm going to go find out too. Or maybe I won't go find out. Maybe I won't find out until, I don't know, next year. I hope to find out all the questions. Because I know that there's still room to grow. In the knowledge, in my knowledge, there's a lot to learn yet. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate these questions. Keep rolling them in. And remember, this is completely free. I don't get paid for this. I just like spending time talking about dogs. It really helps me. So we just had a seminar in Madison for Fetch Wisconsin Rescue. Shout out to Fetch Wisconsin Rescue. Shout out to Carly. I've been working with that rescue for 9 years. We've had a great working relationship for 9 years. And there was one of the first and only rescues that gave me a chance when I moved up here. So I probably moved up here about 10 years ago. Actually, it was 9 years because 2024 will be 10 years. 2014 is when we moved here. Yeah, shout out to them. That's a great organization. Fetch Wisconsin Rescue out of Madison, Wisconsin. They're great. They've done great work. I mean, they've supported me. I've supported them. Great company. So shout out to them. All right. Thank you. We'll work on the e-collar. That is what we use with the other two we have. He just really wants to attack them. Well, does he want to attack them or does he act like he wants to attack them? Have you actually let him get that close? Because barking and looking like they want to attack sometimes means go away. I don't want to hurt you. But I'm standing my ground and I'm taking ground. So you're going to have to ask yourself too, acts like it at the fence. Well, open up the fence and see what happens. Keep the line on the dog. You know, you don't have to keep the leash in your hand, but let the leash drag on your hand. Or let the leash drag on the ground. You can make it a long leash if you like. But again, if that dog acts like it wants to attack, you know, use the e-collar and tell them no, man. And when it comes to the e-collar, the level that works is the level that you should work with. We always want to be as gentle as possible, but sometimes we have to be as firm as necessary. We're trying to teach them something. So, yeah. All right. Next question. Pat says, she doesn't say that. She says, I've had my 1.5-year-old German Shepherd dog rescue for 3 weeks. He does pretty good healing when we walk. Today, passed the house with 2 happy little dogs outside invisible fence. My dog alerted a bit. I was having trouble getting him to refocus away from the puppy yappy dogs. Before we passed them, he did settle. What is the best way to redirect him when we encounter these situations? Great question. This one's going to help out a lot of folks. Okay, I don't like the terminology redirect. This seems to be something that the positive reinforcement folks, trainers, try and tell people. Positive only people tell people what to do. Redirect. No redirect. What you have to ask yourself is this: should I bring my dogs around crazy ass dogs? And the answer would be no. Don't put your dog in that situation. Avoid it at all costs. Cross the street. Okay, tip number 2. Make sure your heeling is perfect. That's going to do is make the dog focus less on the environment and focus more on you. Or just focus less on the environment. And when I say focus on you, I'm not talking about direct eye contact with you at all times. I'm just talking about not focusing on the stimuli, not focusing on the 2 happy little dogs outside. Are they happy or are they yappy? If they're happy, they don't bark. Well, maybe they're demand barking, but I don't know. I doubt that they're barking because they want the play. They're probably barking because they're being territorial. Very yappy. You said happy. But anyway, okay. With 2 yappy little dogs outside. Yeah, I wouldn't put my dog in that situation. I mean, listen, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But the key again is to get the dog to heel perfectly before you enter that situation, or to get the dog to heel perfectly in general. Forget about the dogs. What we need is more focus from the dog, or less focus from the dog to the environment. That's what we need. That's the key. And he needs a little bit more guidance on the walk, which just means you've got to heel with him, loose leash, and he's got to be by your side. No exceptions. Just until we get over that, his need to, address the yappy dogs, we got to give him more of a job to do. That's what he's telling you he needs. He's telling you he needs, hey, Kristen, how are you? He's telling you he needs more guidance on the walk. Sorry, Baz. I got a little bit of a cold. I'm trying to cure it with tequila and red ginger ale. That works, right? Come on. It always works. All right. Let's move on, eh? All right, let's see. Okay. Is it possible to introduce a new kitten to an older dog with a high prey drive? Yes. All things are possible, guys. When it comes to cats and dogs, I would say the most reliable way is to make sure your dog isn't declawed, so that it can teach the dog some boundaries. Or it can teach a dog, yeah, it can actually be a boundary, right? Your dog is not declawed. It can smack the dog a few times once it gets annoyed and or gets bullied, whatever that may be. But that's probably a good idea if you're going to mix cats and dogs. Leave the cat's claws alone, because a lot of dogs respect those claws. And then it makes it a mutual, respectful relationship. But if you remove those claws, cat has a little bit of, not too many options to gain that respect. And then the dog is allowed to bully the cat. And obviously that's unfair. So, now here's the other thing. If your cat is hiding, say you already got a cat, and the daggum cat says, man, I ain't trying to deal with that dog. That dog just comes out. Every time I come out, the damn dog bullies me. I'm out. I'm hiding. I don't like it. So you got to step up for your cat. Your cat needs to see that you can control that daggum dog. And then it'll come out. They're not just, sometimes they just get along. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to do no work. And sometimes they get along. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're going to have to do a little bit of due diligence as far as, again, advocating for your cat and advocating for your dog too. So what I do when I come over, when I go over people's house with dogs and cats, that's the first thing I do is I make sure that the cat knows that I got its back. I'm going to control this dog who keeps chasing you and tormenting you around the house. You know what I mean? Let that cat breathe. I'd had one session with one person, and we took the dog on a walk, teach it the on your bed command, or go to your bed, go lay down, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden the cat came out. Cat was like, wow, it's quiet. There's no commotion. Let me see what's going on. This ain't normal. I'm used to hearing this dog do this, that, and the third. So cat was like, cat literally walked out of the room, never walked out of the room before. Walked out of its hiding place. So advocate for your cat. Control that dog. Teach the dog to be calm. So the cat can actually get out, enjoy its life. And then the dog also learns that it can control its own impulsive behavior too. Because there's a lot of people who have dogs, as soon as they see the cat, boom, they're on it, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So again, if the cat sees that you got the dog under control, cat may want to come out and then maybe one day establish a relationship between the cat and the dog. Every animal can get along with a more calm animal. They don't like chaos. So, yeah, good question. But yes, it is very possible that you can get an older dog with a high prey drive to listen to you. Yes. Dogs got to listen to you, bottom line. All right. Okay. Next question. Those of you who are just joined on Facebook or YouTube, you guys feel free to ask any question that you like. And know that no question is a dumb question. Okay? Because your question will help out other folks that are watching. All right? Excuse me. Yeah, man, so I gotta talk about these past clients that I have in a good way. I had a client that had 2 Rhodesian Ridgebacks. They first came to me, and they had about 3 or 4 different anxiety meds. Okay, so guys, first and foremost, training before meds, please. Training before meds. Okay. There's a lot of push for anxiety meds, and there's a lot of push for all these different calming things. I ain't seen anything that works. I haven't seen anything that really, really is effective. And again, when every dog comes here, I ask the owner if they would allow me to wean the dog off the anxiety meds. And I haven't really seen anything that makes a difference in their temperament. But I really believe that training should be there before we resort to resort to anxiety meds. How about some training? How about some calm training? Now I'll say this too. I've never had a dog that I said, you know what? That dog needs to stay on meds. Because what I do when the dogs come and stay with me is I evaluate their behavior with meds and then off of meds. And again, I'm not saying that the dogs can handle life, everyday circumstances with these meds any different than without them. So anybody out there who's been through that, what do you guys think? Have you actually seen a difference? Because I know it's expensive. The anxiety pills are different. Excuse me. The anxiety pills are expensive, and they're tough on their bodies too. Real tough. You know what I mean? So again, yeah, I push for training first. Training is definitely something that can get you where you want to be instead of medication. All right. Next question. Are the pack walks open to everyone? No. The pack walks are not open to everyone. Reason being, it is a very structured and safe space for highly sensitive dogs. We need dogs with some sort of training to get in, to be able to get into that class. So you'll have to have one private lesson with me, at least one, so that I can teach your dog how to walk and teach you the technique on how to get them to walk and heel good. And then we can, then you can come to the class. But you can't come to the class if some person came with a class with a harness, just showed up. Dog had a harness. And I was like, that ain't gonna work. Not here. No. We got some very sensitive dogs, like I said, that need to see that all dogs can be controlled. And you ain't gonna do that. You can't achieve that necessarily with a harness. Okay, Maria says, help me with my puppy separation anxiety. How old's your puppy? And when is it showing separation anxiety? Can you answer me that? I'd be able to give you a better answer. Those of you who just joined on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, feel free to ask as many questions as you like. And feel free to ask any question that you like. You're not subject to one question. So all you guys out there who are watching, ask as many questions as you like. My cat was the boss of all the dogs because of his claws. The dogs gave him a wide berth. Good job. That's what I'm talking about. Very good. Agree with you, training and structured environment instead of meds. Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, and you folks got to get these issues done before they're 2, before they're 3, before they're 4, before they're 5. Come on, guys. Like, I guarantee it ain't about the training. It's about the effort that you put in. Yes, there are very difficult dogs out there. Don't get me wrong. But if you're out there every day with your dog, trying to get your dog to learn something that they should learn, I think the dog will eventually learn. Use your instincts. Stop reading so much crap. There's so much crap out there. Use your instincts. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. And it's okay to show tough love to your dog. It's okay. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way relationship. Don't let your dog make you accommodate to his life. Just his life. He should also accommodate to yours. It's a relationship, which means it takes 2 to tango. He gives you and you give him. He doesn't just take. Him or her, I should say. Crystal says, thank you for the pack walks. They've been great for us. My pleasure. It's great seeing Mochi out there. Whew. Okay. Next question. Not a behavior issue. I have a 3-pound Chihuahua that loves bite work. Wow. Fantastic. He's very active. My friends say he's a 3-pound pit bull full of personality. I bought a sheepskin and put a rope on it, and he bit full mouth, shakes, pulls back hard. However, he's getting bored of that toy. Have you ever used anything for bite work on such a small dog? No, I've never done bite work with a Chihuahua. I'm just going to be honest. I could make some shit up, but no, I'm just going to be honest. I have no idea what I would do with a small dog. If he's getting bored with it, are you using it too much? If he's getting bored with it, are you letting him settle with it too much? Because I know bite work. Well, maybe you don't know, but I do bite work and I've done bite work. And I know to keep something exciting, it can't be there too much. Can't be there too often. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'll go ahead and tell you, and forgive me if you are. Keep the session short and put it away once he's at his highest adrenaline state. Put it away when he's at the most excited about that toy. Especially put it away if you start to see him being bored with it. Put it away. But yeah, when I used to do bite work, the sessions are fast, intense, high energy, and then we put the toy away, put the dog away, or at least put the toy away. We want to keep that dog really hungry about it. Then we put it away when they've done 1 or 2 really good repetitions. That's all it takes. I mean, you got to depend. It depends on the dog, obviously. It depends on how driven your dog is. But you make that read. You see your dog's energy zapping. It's time to take it away. If he shakes it, he may be settling with it. I mean, you tell me, let me know. What's he doing? Are you allowing him to lay down with it and chew on it? You know what I mean? Definitely don't do that. But I love that full mouth. That means you know what you're talking about when you say full mouth. Yes. So many people with that pretend to know what bite work means don't know what a full mouth bite is. And it's important. So shout out to you. That's awesome. All right. 5-month-old when I leave for a few hours in the crate and sleeping in the crate. Yeah. So 5 months old. Okay. So you should put the dog in the crate when you're home after some exercise, preferably after the needs are met. Dog should nap in the crate just like a baby naps in the cradle. Get the dog used to seeing what you guys do in a crate. You having the opportunity to get the dog calm in the crate. See, you can't train a dog to be calm in the crate when you're gone. You got to teach the dog to be calm in the crate when you're home. So I would put the dog up for a nap. And if the dog was doing anything other than sitting or laying down, then I would go over to that crate and put him in a sit or put him in a down. And then I would walk away. No treats involved. No positive baby talk required. Just directives. And the dog will learn how to settle and be calm, cool, collected in the crate. Here's the other thing. When you let the dog out of the crate, don't let that dog just barge out of that crate. Make the dog sit. Make the dog look at you. And I'm not talking about making the dog look at you through asking for eye contact. I'm talking about the eye contact that comes when the dog says, what are we doing here? Can I come out now? Like, what's going on? That's the type of eye contact I want. The eye contact that you don't ask for. It happens because the dog actually uses its brain. Because you've made the dog think and not allow the dog to be reactive. You open that crate and that dog just comes on out, barreling out, then you're just feeding into reactivity. I get what I want. That's the type of dog you're feeding. I open the door. I want what I want. I don't care. And if you shut that door, I'm going to scream. Get me out. Get me out. Get me out. No. Once you settle down, once you're calm, once you listen, and I mean for a while, then you can come out. I'm not letting you out being crazy, because then you know that crazy works. Crazy works for you. All right, guys, those of you who joined on Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube, ask me any question that you like, as many questions as you like. I don't care how many questions you have. Ask me, and I'll answer them all the way up until 8 o'clock. But no question is a dumb question. All right? Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold. So excuse me if I'm coughing and I sound a little bit stuffy, but yeah. Okay, Melissa says, agree. Never have seen meds work with horses or dogs. Holla at you, boy. Come on now. You heard this from a great horse trainer. Never have seen meds work with horses or dogs. Say it louder for the people in the back so they can hear you. Come on now. All these damn veterinarians, man. Bro, that shit pisses me off. That pisses me off. I mean, the worst way. All these veterinarians prescribing all these meds, just like these doctors prescribing all these people with all this anxiety meds and all this crap, man, is ruining dogs, bro. Like, for real. It's ruining dogs, man. These veterinarians need to be held accountable. They're telling people to put their dog down. They ain't met them but for 5 minutes. You telling people to put your dog down, their dog down, and you don't even know them. All right, I'm going to stop because I'm getting ready to rant and I'm getting sad. Whew, deep breath. Okay. Yeah, you heard it from someone who works with dogs and horses. Guys, I'm not making this shit up. Exercise, exercise, and training. Come on, man. That's the key. Get up, get out, get off the couch. Stop watching all this Netflix. Stop watching all this YouTube. Get off your phone and get out with your dog, man. It's only going to benefit you too. That's why I love dog training so much. It forces people to really look at themselves because dogs are a mirror to our soul. But it also has the opportunity, the ability to keep us healthy and young as well. That's what's special about dog training, or dogs in general. You really love your dog? Give your dog what it needs first and foremost. Then see if it actually needs what you think it wants. I bet you'll find out that it's easy to put up boundaries when you've learned what the dog's needs are and you've fed those needs. Then the wants aren't even wants. They don't even care about that. They're cool. They go lay down and they chill and they're good. But thank you, Melissa, for commenting that. Those of you who have any questions about how I train too, what tools I use, I don't care what you ask. Ask it all. I just went to a seminar, man. There was probably a few folks that had, not probably, there were a few folks that had harnesses on their dog. If that's your thing, then that's your thing. But don't get caught up in this. Don't let what you read determine how you treat your dog, how you train your dog. And I know it's tough out there. You don't know which way to go, which direction to go, which trainer is good and what trainer is not. If I could tell you without bias how to screen a trainer, I would, but I'm biased. So train with me because I value solutions over anything else. If I could flip a switch or snap my fingers and your dog's issues go away, that means I could do that to every person that I would help, and I would eventually not be able to train dogs, and I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay not doing what I'm doing if there were no bad dogs. I don't want there to be bad dogs. What is bite work? So bite work is tug. You know how you can play tug of war with your dog? It's more of a structured tug, right? It's implementing obedience with tug. Not all. A lot of dogs like to tug, like to bite, like to pull, like to shake, like to tug. So it's more of a structured way to get your dog to do what it likes to do. You can say out and the dog will stop tugging. You can say sit and the dog will sit and be ready for the next bite. And it wears them out. It's fun for dog and owner to learn some skills when it comes to bite work. There are some dogs who, again, love to do it. And you might as well learn how to do it in a positive way so the dog doesn't do it in a negative way. Okay. All right. Next question, guys. Excuse me. Next question comes from Rose. How do I get 2 female GSDs to coexist in the same home? One raised from 8 weeks and one is 1 year and 6 months. One was adopted a year ago at 4 months. Both are intact. Both just want to fight, so we separate every day. I don't think that females being intact has anything to do with behavior issues. Like, especially when it comes to aggression. I mean, maybe they might be crabby because they get their period twice a year. Not period, but get in the heat. You know what I'm talking about. How do I get... Okay, so... Yeah, I mean... we can talk about spaying and neutering and that stuff, but we talk about that all the time. And I always tell people, it ain't got shit to do with shit. Excuse my language. But okay, one was adopted a year ago at 4 months. Both are intact, but just want to fight, so we separate every day. They may not ever get along. If you got 2 alpha females, then the best thing to do is rehome one of them. But what you should have did is screened the female that you were bringing in and seeing if it was assertive or not. Because in order for 2 females to get along, or in general, in order for 2 dogs to get along, it's best if one is submissive and one is assertive. But one's got to be submissive. You can't have 2 controlling females. Is that it? Is that is that all the dogs that you have in the home? Listen, I am a fan of training when it comes to that, but I'm also being realistic too, and know that it would take a lot of work and management from you guys, in order for them to maybe get along. I don't know. What are they fighting over? Tell me that. What are they fighting over? Why are they fighting? I can give you a little bit more of an in-depth solution. So why are they fighting? Okay. How can you tell the pack leader with 3 dogs? Put a bone down, put a steak down, put a toy down, a new toy. Open the door. Who's first? Who just seems to be the most assertive? Who seems to be number one? Again, when you open that door and they come back inside from being outside, who's the one trying to be number one inside the door? And again, if you put a bowl of food down, who's going to get it? Those are some things that could lead to your question or lead to your answer. Yeah. I appreciate your question. Kiara says, we learn through mistakes. What is one you did years ago? Mistakes? I don't make mistakes. I'm freaking perfect. What are you talking about? Just kidding. I've made many mistakes, man. Let's see. As you mature as a trainer, or maybe any not occupancy, but any job or skill that you learn that you kind of have a little bit of regret. Let's call it experience regret. I regret that I don't have the knowledge for the clients that came before my current level of knowledge. So I know that I'm better than I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. I know that I'm a better trainer today than I was then. I feel bad for the people that I couldn't serve as best because I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am today. So it's not necessarily a mistake, more so than I'm just feeling bad because, again, I could have helped those people out more if I was as knowledgeable back then as I was today. Hope that makes sense. Appreciate your question. Feel free to ask another. Sorry, guys. Okay, trainer at puppy class I went to says harnesses are for dogs that pull things like a sled dog. That's exactly what I said at the seminar, Chris. That's exactly what I said. I said harnesses are for pulling. You know, I get that people freak out about putting something around the dog's neck. I mean, because our neck is a very vulnerable place, and theirs is too, but a lot less vulnerable. So I get the need to avoid that, especially if you got your first dog. It's my first dog, and I don't want to cause any harm to it. I get it. I get where you're coming from. However, if you're having behavioral issues and you need to develop trust and respect from the dog, it's next to impossible with a harness. Any trainer that can do it, you guys let me know who the hell that is, and I will pay them thousands of dollars to learn how they did it. You hear me? The reason why it's beneficial to have a collar around the dog's neck, have a leash, have a prong collar, is because we can actually speak. We can actually pour learning into the dog. For some reason, it's easier to get the dog to use its brain. It just doesn't with a harness. So if you want your dog, so people fall into, I'm going to get this front clip harness so that it can stop pulling. But the goal shouldn't be, let's do whatever it takes to get the dog to stop pulling. The goal should be, okay, why is my dog pulling? Ask that question instead of saying, my dog pulls, let's get this. No. Why is your dog pulling? Your dog's pulling because it doesn't give a crap about you. Your dog's pulling because it's training you, walking you. It's controlling what you do. And if it's allowed to be the decision maker, then it's also allowed to act how they want to act when it sees another dog, when it sees kids, when it sees whatever it's reactive to. So the tools that go around the dog's neck and upper head allow you to pour education into the dog. And that's most important. Because you can go back to your stupid little, sorry, I shouldn't say that. You can go back to your harness in a couple years. Sure. But let's teach the dog first what the world's all about. I think that's more important. Okay. Trainer at puppy class I went to says, oh, okay. Gotcha. I already answered that one. All right. So in class, one girl was worried how her friends judge her using a prong collar. People need to mind their business. Well, people need to mind their business, but people need to not care about what people think either. That's what I was saying. I'm like, you don't need to worry about what the outside world is doing. When you allow the outside world to dictate your relationship, your intimate relationship, because that's an intimate relationship, not in any weird way, but intimate in the sense where you spend 99% of the time with that dog. Only you and that dog know what it needs. When you start inviting people that don't know your dog, don't know you, don't know the situation as much as you do, and they get to dictate what goes on, then confusion, massive confusion, starts to come in. So my thing is, you're going to have to develop some thick skin. Good Lord. Who cares what they think? And if they're judging the hell out of you, what kind of friends are they? They need to be empathetic, or they need to be educated on the world at large. What kind of dogs do they have? Do they have good dogs? I bet you they don't. Ask me what I would say if they had a good dog. Ask me if they had a good dog or not. I bet you I'd say no. So maybe they don't have as tough a dog as you do, because the woman in the class had a tough dog, like breed wise. And for new dog owners, stay away from certain breeds, y'all. Come on now. New dog owners out there, don't get no daggum working dog. Don't get a protective dog. Don't get a herding dog. Don't get a dog that has a job, because y'all ain't gonna know what to do unless, and this is more likely than not. But there are some owners that rock it, and when they get that dog, they'll go to whatever it takes. But for the average dog owner, y'all think y'all can get a dog just based on their looks? You got to do some research on the breed and be able to figure out if you can give the breed what it actually needs. Because don't live in an apartment and get a freaking beagle and get a freaking Catalua, Australian Shepherd. Don't get a herding dog. Don't get a working dog. Don't get a hunting dog. If you're in an apartment, what kind of environment is that? Their exercise is probably next to none. So yeah. You guys out there, don't care about what your friends think. I had to learn that, develop that at an early, I was 23, 24 when I started my business, but I was younger than that when I had my dog, my pit bull, and I didn't care what people thought. All right. I have 2 alpha females. No, it ain't gonna work, baby. It ain't gonna work. That have tried to kill each other. Leave them alone, man. Separate that. I'm a trainer, and I'm telling you, trading just ain't worth it. Have kept them separate since 2019. God, we call that separation orchestration. That's a good way of putting it. Chose this instead of rehoming. We are fortunate to have a setup that works. Well, if you got something that works, then then that's what you do. I've done it too. Crates, baby gates, and kennel in the garage. It is not easy though. Pit bull and coon hound. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I feel your pain on that. Wow. Pit bull and coon hound. Wow. Yeah. You're doing the right thing, Chris. Stick in there. Stay with it. I mean, I feel you. My advice would be, again, you've done it for a long time, and you're probably very attached to both of these dogs. Oofta, right? You're probably attached to these dogs pretty well. And so it's up to you. You know what I mean? I had two male pit bulls and a female, and how long did I make it? I probably made it 7 years with them, and then they tried to kill each other. So I know what you're going through. I know what you're struggling with, and yeah. But if you're dedicated on keeping these dogs, and you want some more tips, just call me, and I'll definitely give you some stuff that could help the situation. Because two alpha females can get along, but we're going to have to be real tough on them. Well, hell, call me, man. Give me a call. And oh, guess what? Oh, well, it's 8 o'clock now. But y'all, hey, you know what? People like Chris, people like Kiara, anybody who wants to like really have a conversation, we can do that. You guys can come on the show. I would love to talk to someone on the show so that a lot of people, I think a lot of people would benefit from hearing, because there's probably somebody out there going through that same situation. So if we had time, maybe next time, one of you guys, one of your brave souls, can come on the show with me, and I'll share the link, and we can have a conversation one on one, and I can really dig in. You know what I mean? I can really dig in and give some really good insight on what to do, because these questions here, they're good, and I can give you some general answers, but talking one on one, like I'm talking to someone on the phone, is where I really thrive and I really love. I really love to be able to ask questions and get immediate feedback on what your situation is. I can ask how old, how long you've had the dog, what's the temperament, what's the breed, I can give you the DL. You know what I mean? What do you mean Major could be in trouble? What does that mean? But I could really give you guys some good information. So next week, Thursday, if any of you brave souls want to come on with me, and you can be anonymous too if you want, but you can, or not, you can talk just like this and we can, we can show your video, or we can just show your avatar, whatever the hell. But yeah, we can do those things, man. All right. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon. I appreciate you guys watching. Please show some love if you got something out of it. If this helps you out at all, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, or leave a comment or something. And yeah, definitely Patrick would be awesome for it. Hell yeah, we drink tequila together on the same show. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate all you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in. And we'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a great night. Stay safe. Yes.